Hey folks, thanks for stopping by. Here's the Storm here in G4G. It has been a long time since I've done a HOTS video here on G4G, but it was Deathwing Day, so I figured it was finally time for it. So, if you did the Blizzcon package, you will have Deathwing for free today. When you log in, you'll have him as a gift. When you get him, he'll have 3 skins that are available and 1 that is locked. 3 available and 3 that are not available. The unavailable ones that you'll have to pay to get are Iron Deathwing, the Glorious Deathwing, which is sort of a cobalt and gold, and then the Tyrannical Deathwing, which, to be honest, is not the most common Drake color in World of Warcraft. There are definitely some that have this, but the standard ones are, of course, regular Deathwing, the Ancient Deathwing, which probably also could have been called Verdant, in my opinion, but they probably overused that. And then Savage, and I've actually been using Savage for mine. So I've done 3 matches tonight. 2 were Arthas because he was about ready to level, and I did 1 as Deathwing. I had a Bruiser quest today. I sort of don't always want to give in directly to the brand new hero, like right at the first 2 games. I kind of like to feel out the field a little bit just to see how everybody's playing, and plus Arthas was so close to a level up, I wanted to use him first. In the store, there are 2 Deathwing related bundles. One is specifically for Brightwing that gives her the maniacal little fey dragon that she is, who will absolutely devour your soul. You get the Destroyer, you get Tyrannical, which is certainly appropriate, although it kind of makes him look like a floating Barney. And Savage. Pretty much kind of makes sense that they don't give Brightwing the green one, because she's got so many that are green, and these definitely stand out. The other bundle is the one that gives you a bunch of the Diva related Deathwing skins, but they've been around the game for so long, chances are you've probably got a few of those. I distinctly went for this purchase a long time ago because I loved this skin, and I mean, this was the closest representation we had to Deathwing in the game for a long time. They have the Spellweaver version, so here is the Blue Dragonflight, which Deathwing does not have in his skins, and then a sort of more muddied up red for the Lifebinder, and then that is a separate package. So I figured what I would do is go ahead and show you the 1 match that I've played as Deathwing. And, well, actually first we'll go ahead and talk about the build that I used first. So, I've been seeing a lot of posts recently about Deathwing builds prior to him going live, but I didn't take advantage and read any of them at first, because I sort of wanted to go into this a little bit more raw in my knowledge. And right before the first game I did go over to Icy Veins and take a look at it. So first, his abilities. In his Destroyer form, which is more melee based, both of them have Molten Flame as the Q, and it is exactly the same in both forms. Then you have Incinerate and World Breaker, which after little short of a second he puts a circle around him and deals damage. It's minor damage, it's light poke. And then you have Onslaught, which is a little bit of a lunge. If he hits enemies, he slows them by 35% for just 2 seconds. Deathwing bites the enemies at the end of the lunge, dealing additional damage. Aspect of Death is basically his quote-unquote health. That's his armor plates, and also the fact that he is permanently unstoppable, and he deals additional spell damage to heroes. But of course, in return, he cannot be healed or affected by allies in any way, shape, or form. And then his heroic, which much like Tracer is available right at the beginning, and it's called Cataclysm, which is basically the Cataclysm intro for Deathwing once he breaks through and is above ground. His ranged form, which is Worldbreaker, he does Lava Burst, which puts a circle on the ground and then leaves it there for 6 seconds. It slows things that come through it. It's a burning damage. It's light. You'll see 8s, 7s, maybe 10s ticking on little PvE minions when you've got it. Earth Shatter, which is a V, kind of a V cone where the middle part of the cone does not have any damage in it, but 2 lines kind of V out from him. It stuns people that it hits, and then Cataclysm and Aspect of the Death stay the same. The build that I used, according to Icy Veins, is called the Molten Flame build. The level 1 is kind of up to you, but they point out that Molten Blood is the more consistent of them, simply because you don't have to do anything from it. Dragon Soul requires that you hit abilities to do it. Incinerate and Lava Burst is what you get out of that. So again, going back, that's your middle ones. This is not a particularly hard one to hit, however, especially Incinerate if you're in the thick of melee. People are probably going to be more focused on dodging your Molten Flame, and they're going to set themselves up for that Incinerate pretty easily. Then you want to pick Infernus if you're doing this build. When Molten Flame is cast at 75% energy or higher, its damage is increased against heroes. Over here, they kind of recommended the middle talent, which is Death Drop. Hitting an enemy hero with Destroyer or Worldbreaker landing damage reduces the spell armor by 15 for 6 seconds, and Deathwing's basic abilities cool down by 2 seconds. So when you are up in the air with your Z, you have a cooldown until you can land. You can either land in your ranged form or your melee form, and you will see that your bar only gives you 2 choices. 10 is basically an additional ultimate if you pick Bellowing Roar, or a modification to your existing ultimate. They had recommended Burn Beneath My Shadow. When an enemy fort or keep is destroyed, the cooldown of Cataclysm is reset. Cataclysm's periodic damage is increased by 150. Even if you're not timing things well with forts or keeps, that additional damage is great, because you're essentially Arthas' Sindragosa at this point, except it's a little bit of a shorter range and you've got some decent control over it. I played the Sky map, Sky Temple, and when people are trying to come in and out of the bushes to areas by temples, this worked out really well, because they would retreat and they think, oh, I'm getting away from Deathwing, he's burned a lot of his abilities. But if you've held your heroic, you just swipe your way through the exit path, and we'll see an example of that in my replay. Wicked Inferno is what you pick up at 13, where the energy cost per second is reduced. After using Molten Flame, Deathwing gains 15 energy over 3 seconds, so you kind of recharge it back. Conflagration, which is a World of Warcraft talent. It's actually, was a spell for Warlocks. Deals 320 damage with Molten Flame to enemy heroes within 4 seconds, causes them to burn for additional damage over 4 seconds. While burning, they explode. So that's fun. And then at 20, they recommend Stood in the Fire, which is, of course, the achievement that you got in World of Warcraft during Cataclysm if you were in a zone when Deathwing flew over it. And that is, enemy heroes are slowed by 40% while standing in the scorched ground, and its duration is increased. Also, pretty good there. So, I'm going to go ahead and pull up my replay over here. So we will increase the speeds a little bit. So here, as you can see, this is what Deathwing looks like. He has the heroic unit frame from World of Warcraft, and his armor plates are these sections. So you have 4 armor plates, and then when they are knocked off, the only way to regenerate them is for health globes and fountains, and if you take off with your Z, you regen them. The red line below it is energy to use your abilities. Think of it like rogue energy, more than rage or anything from a warrior, even though he is considered a bruiser. Here, I've started off most of the beginning of the match in the melee form, just because I played very much into the bruiser title for him. I discovered I actually should have been playing more as ranged, and I switch about halfway through. So you can see here, because of that regen talent that I picked, I'm regenning my armor plates, or health within the armor plate. And you'll see I have 30 armor over here. See, now Johanna pretty much is not a threat to me, because any of her... she's low damage. Any of her abilities just really aren't going to affect me. And provided I don't get ganked, I pretty much am in control of my destiny if I'm dealing with a Johanna. Now remember, my vision is going to be a little bit greater here on the replay than I was live, so this is definitely looking to be a problem. I don't have to worry about being slowed or anything, but I do have to worry about Lunara's extreme damage, just being a chunky big target. Now you'll see, I've had an armor plate knocked off, so I only regen health up to that armor plate. You really have to fight your muscle memory not to Z when you're done doing what you want to do and you want to reposition everything. Now you'll see here, I take off. And I'm permanently up in the air over here at this point. And you don't see me, you have no idea what I'm going to wind up doing. I fully regen, and there's the landing circle, and there I am. And notice that I'm low, so I back out. My armor is down to 10, but I hit the well. Go in for a little bit of poke. And you can see I can actually get beyond that armor plate. Have to play it. I got nicked by Li Ming over there a little bit, so I had to play this safe. Now there's nothing I can do at this point in terms of health. I can't go to a fountain. I can't get healed by any teammates. Like what Brightwing is doing has no effect on me. So I just kind of walk away hoping that that poison doesn't kill me, and now I'm back up in the air again. You'll see my health is regenerating up here next to Zul'jin. It's a decent speed, and here's the thing about the regen speed. You cannot land within the first anywhere, I think it's maybe 8 to 10 seconds after taking off. So you're forced into a regen. You can't, this is not a little hop that you can do for repositioning. Here, I walked away from the Johanna, not because I was afraid of Johanna, and this is my first match with Deathwing, so I want to be cautious, and I don't want to get baited into, you know, other people coming down the way. So that molten flame was more of a keep away. I didn't really expect to do a lot of damage, but it was to prevent her from walking back, so that people can do whatever he wanted behind me. Now, let's check out the talents. So at this point, I went with Molten Blood, which is the armor plates. As long as I have 3 more, I get the regen. Infernus, which is the higher energy, and then Death Drop. So what I should be doing is really reserving my energy on those Molten Flames. That's just the learning curve right over there. I didn't do particularly well with it in the beginning.
Guardians, do not let me.
Here, I move into the temple, because I know I have an easy little alley like that. If people start coming in, there's a lot I can do. Really, really low energy over here because this is a little bit of a scrum, so it's been hard to build towards those big moltens. However, we really did scare them away, and I'm still on my topmost armor plate, so my regen is looking good. Here's my heroic, which I was hoping was going to cast it before the tower, or before the fort went down. Unfortunately, it was a few seconds late, so I did not regenerate the fort. And see, it's at max. Again, that's another one of those dumb walkout molten breaths. Kind of jump back in there, hoping to catch Lunara, but I misplayed that a little bit. Team backed away from behind me, and I was over aggressive and did not catch anybody out whatsoever. And taking a look at the stats so far, here's me, second on PvE damage, and second on hero damage, now third.
Heroes.
A little bit of a stupid threatening jump I tried to do over there and caught nobody. So I went ahead and just backed out and finished off the camp. Here is where I switched over to and kind of an area heroic and pretty much shut down their exit right over there. I think that sneaks up on people, that it leaves a trail on the ground that hurts for a little bit afterwards. They probably think, oh, he's gone through already, and then they start walking over it and they get damaged. So here at this point, I'm just basically back to melee. I'm trying to conserve a lot of my energy because now I'm playing up to the talent that I picked, and I take off. Didn't really need it for regen. This was a reposition takeoff. Come down and just switch forms again. I think I'm in range. Yep. So there's the range W. That was cool. There's the ranged E, and you'll notice I get the stun. Now I'm walking around completely full health and energy, just wondering what we're gonna do. We were trying to go save Mephisto, we didn't get there in time. I stayed away from helping on the boss just to stay visible on the map and make them think we weren't bossing. It may have worked. There's the V cone that I was talking about. There's the pool. You don't see the damage numbers there. It's low. It's like 7, 8 per tick. Alright, so this is a little bit of wandering around for a bit, so we'll speed this up. Ranged is pretty good on trash. Here I see a fight happening, so I go to try and get down to it. Get a really chunky multiple on that Tychus, but that happens. I supremely melted on that one. That one was really, really bad. And I saw our death counter on that one. It was like, ooh, I hope this isn't where things turn around. But we're still winning 11-8. And Mephisto is doing the majority of things. However, we're solidly in a pretty good second place over here. Mephisto scares them out. Gets a kill. I'm back. See, now this is tempting to go ahead and use the dragonflight to get in there, which is what I do, as I see them posturing a little bit. As long as I know they're just going, it looks like they're moving up the side. That time I do get a land. There's my ultimate. Which is reasonable. I'm really trying to respect Lunara, considering what she did to me earlier in the match. I was trying very, very hard to stay away from her. At some point I must have become globe because I was able to regen back into that top armor plate. That was a keep away. Keep Anduin moving up. Maintaining that top armor plate so I get a good chunky regen. And here I just go down for a little bit of trash killing. You can definitely use your energy from Molten Flame if you know you're not going to be getting into a fight anytime soon like there. I used it on some of the trash. Poor Lynch got absolutely melted. See, because the globes help. So definitely try to play into getting a globe. When you've reached the max for the plate, pick up one of those globes so you can kick over. Walked right into a Limi ball. Once again, they just kind of funnel in that lovely entrance. However, I got the corner on me, so I decided to take off the position to get away from her, get the enemy, lay the AoE down. Alright. Get a nice kill from Tychus. I was happy with that one. That one felt solid. It kind of felt like, hey, that was a well-played set of abilities. Again, the Mephisto is kicking ass, and I'm in a solid second place. And third place, overall in damage on the server with the Mephisto and the Limi getting ahead of me. You have to watch his Deathwing. Certain DPS are going to love you. Limi's going to stand at range, get a lot of poke on you, you're a huge target. Lunara is going to get a lot of damage on you. Probably any of the health-based DPS, any of the percentage-based ones are probably going to wreck your base. That was just for a little bit of trash. Pretty good Q there. Nice kill on the Limi to get her before she retreats. And their core is in my damage path. Then that's it. That's the match. So, 2 deaths, which was pretty good.
Victorious.
Solid second place on the team, and third overall on the server. The final talents were Molten Blood, Infernus, Death Drop, Burn Beneath My Shadow, Wicked Inferno, Conflagration, and Stood in Fire, which again is the Molten Flame build on Icy Veins. I liked it. I should have played smarter into the build earlier on. It probably was about halfway through the match when most heroics were coming online that I actually played into the build the way that it was supposed to, which is try and save energy for Infernus on heroes, have as much max energy as I can, and then trying to get Burn Beneath My Shadow to proc. Unfortunately misplayed that just a second too late. And Stood in the Fire was used towards the end over there. That was a really good... There was 1 or 2 good heroic kills over there. And that one on the lead me right before her her safe spot right by the core. That came into play over there. Molten Blood was used quite well. Just, you know, pick up an orb and kick into that final plate so you get that really good regen going. And Death Drop was minorly successful. I had one where I barely missed the Johanna, but then other ones after that were pretty good. And, you know, you just have to use your takeoff wisely. Don't really burn it for stupid things. Getting out of the core and maybe wanting to get into the fight isn't always the best use of it, unless like that one top shrine where I saw them kind of flirting around on the edge of it and knew there was a good chunk of them over there. That was a decent use of it. You just have to really watch that you don't burn it on stupid stuff. But he's good. He's not invincible. I don't think he's overtuned, and I think a lot of DPS are going to enjoy fighting against you. Anybody who has talents that escalate per people hit, like Junkrat is going to have a fun time with Deathwing, especially a smart Junkrat that knows how to maintain range. Kira with the bleeds, maybe. Vala's another one that I think is going to have an easy time on Deathwing, and when I play her, I tend to like Caltrops, which is a high stack talent, but then I go into Creed of the Hunter, which is specifically a hero talent. I think Vala's picking Creed and Caltrops are going to have an interesting time. Arsenal, the multi-shot grenades, probably going to be strong. Rain of Engine, stupid. It's probably going to force him more into strafe. The Tempered by Discipline is going to be good against Deathwing. Seething Hatred to get those stacks going quick. And then either the Farflight Quiver to stand even further away from Deathwing, or Rancor are going to do good. Tassadar, if you pick the Psi Infusions, probably going to like a Deathwing. There's definitely some DPS out there that are really going to enjoy having that fat target. Nova, it's probably going to be good for making sure that you land those snipe-related shots, but if she's not good with her clones and the get out of jail free card with permanent cloak and using that to that cooldown where she gets stealth even if she's not supposed to get stealth, little iffy. I think really good Novas will probably like Deathwing quite a bit, but it'll just feel like a little bit of an endless pool. So I don't necessarily know that going the triple tap and the reset is the good idea. Precision strike, and then the duplicate precision strike might not be too bad. Fast reload might be a little iffy with Deathwing out there. Hammer may not be the best because I think Deathwing has got a bunch of abilities that might eliminate the range gap between Hammer and a lot of people. I definitely wouldn't want to be a Zeratul going up against a Deathwing. I mean, a melee Deathwing is probably going to be able to sniff him out and pop him really, really easily. Kel'Thuzad's probably going to like a Deathwing, especially at long ranges. Wouldn't want to be an Illidan. Hanzo's probably going to get some good poke off of him. Don't want to be Cassia. And I don't think the blind is going to affect him whatsoever. I think the Unstoppable is going to cover that. As far as other tanks go, Varian is going to be a little bit less effective because he's not going to get those charge slows and stuns. I ran up against some annoying Varians as I was trying to dang my Arthas. And it just that Varian Leamy combo was really, really awful for Arthas. I'd be trying to disengage, he'd stun and slow me, and then Leamy would just hit the beam heroic, and I was absolutely melting. Sylvanas will probably like Deathwing a little bit. Leoric won't. Artanis won't. Kalthus? Maybe. I don't think I would want to be a Tracer into a Deathwing, especially a melee one, to be honest. And it doesn't really matter what heals are on the field. With him, the healers are going to be able to do nothing. I mean, it's not like an Anna's going to be able to heroic the Deathwing. It's not like Morales is going to be able to stim. So really, the healers don't matter. The healers are for the other people on the field, the other three people. And, you know, for synergies, anybody who has slows. Jaina would be good. Other tanks with slows like Leoric. Anybody who can just set up Deathwing to kind of jump in there. Especially if he reserves the charge to get out when things go bad. And kind of go in with the other melee abilities instead. So yeah, fun hero. I definitely think he's worth getting, and especially get him today if you had him from BlizzCon. And the queue times for Deathwings have not been that bad. I picked him and I got into a pretty quick match. I think maybe a lot of people were playing tonight because they want to see what Deathwing's about, even if they don't have him. So this was not one of those, oh, it's the first day of the hero kind of thing and you can't get into a match with him because everybody's playing him. I'm actually really, really surprised the queue was that quick, and it was not that bad to pick him to get into a match. And the second one of the night, neither team had a Deathwing, and one of the people on my team was like, what, no Deathwing? So there's probably a lot of them out in the wild today. So there you go, guys. Hope you enjoy the video. Take care and have a good one.